Hello. Well, in 2014, the first of Thomas Pynchon's novels to make it to the big screen, Inherent Vice. The movie came out, directed by Paul Thomas Anderson, and starring Joaquin Phoenix um, in the main role, with a surprisingly large cast of well-known actors. Brolin is in it, Owen Wilson, Catherine Watterson, Eric Roberts, Reese Witherspoon, Benicio del Toro, Maya Rudolph, Martin Short, and others um, play various roles throughout. And what's interesting about this movie is for about the first, I don't know, half hour or so, it follows the novel almost literally word for word. And then the further you get into the movie, the more it kind of deviates from the plot. If you recall the book, there are some stewardesses that Doc hangs out with. They're not mentioned. There's an entire subplot where he actually goes to Vegas and where he goes to the apartment complex or the suburban neighborhood, rather, that Winsome is developing. That's not in the book, um, but the basic idea is in the book, in the movie. Um, Overall, I saw this movie maybe not in 2014. I saw this movie maybe in 2016 or 2017, something like that, when it first came out on like HBO or some other, I don't remember which one, some other uh, uh, home system. Um, and I wasn't particularly impressed. Um, it was interesting. But things like, it might be fun juvenile reading, going to read some of what happens at when Doc goes to try to meet Winsome at that new apartment complex, and he walks into the massage parlor. Good juvenile reading, perhaps, but it doesn't translate very well to the screen, I didn't think. And, I just thought that overall this movie didn't have uh, the spirit. In the book, you really were in a haze of pot smoke. You weren't 100% sure what was real and what was not. Although, there were some things that I could have caught from the movie that I didn't necessarily catch from the book. Like, I didn't go back and check, but in the movie they kept saying, "What's up, Doc?" Bugs Bunny, of course, and I don't recall that being in the book. Maybe it was, and I just read over it, but I don't recall that. Um, uh, Bjornson, Bigfoot's obsession with chocolate covered bananas is weird. I wasn't sure what to make of it in the book. In the movie, they make it out to be kind of this homoerotic fetish thing, I think. Um, I don't know. Uh, eh, Overall, I thought that this movie was honestly relatively weak compared to the book. I really did. I did not think it lived up to the hype whatsoever. I thought that in trying to streamline the plot, he mangled aspects of it, and it didn't quite get the spirit of Pynchon quite right for me. There wasn't nearly enough reasons for paranoia in the movie, although there are in the book. A critical misfire, I think. Um, Overall, I did like it, and I'm glad to have seen it, but I was not honestly that impressed as any kind of adaptation. But then again, how do you adapt a Pynchon novel? Uh, that is a standing question here. How do you do it successfully? I mean, one thing they did, which I thought was dubious, is they had a voiceover from the tarot card reader. And okay, Pynchon does like that narrative within a narrative structure. He used it quite successfully in Mason and Dixon, for instance. But yeah, I didn't get the sense from the book that I was reading from a particular person's point of view like that. So I wasn't sure how to feel about that. They were just, and the one like really super extended sex scene with Sasha and Doc. Yeah, I could have done without it, honestly. I just felt that it was a little creepy um, and problematic. And obviously, I think in many ways it's supposed to be. Sasha is seeking some kind of, I don't know, guilt sex, redemption sex. I don't really know. She kind of likes the bad girl being punished by daddy kind of approach, but I don't know. I just felt it was, it's probably accurate enough for what Pynchon's writing, but I could have done without it. It just didn't add anything to the plot for me. That's the other thing too. I honestly didn't care, not one bit. Could care less. I had no feeling for Doc, no feeling for Sasha, no feeling for the circumstances. Um, the ambiguity of the plot was even more ambiguous in the sense of like there really wasn't one to speak of in terms of what was going on exactly. By leaving out, exactly what oh, not Sledge Poteet, because that's the other guy that he's working with, but Glenn Charlock and the black gentleman whose name I have forgotten, Malik. By leaving out that they were actually doing gun running from the movie, that whole subplot kind of fell apart. So that became completely unclear. So, yeah, not a fan. Although it was fun to watch and I appreciated existing in the world, I just did not think it was, for me anyway, an entirely successful adaptation.